goes. You guys should be able to hear me. We've got some serious problems here in central Pennsylvania. Massive windstorm today. Knocked out power lines and internet connections all over the state. My internet's been up and down. Just came up again as I went live here. And so that's why we had to board the stream a short while ago. So my apologies for that. Why is this not coming up now? This should be showing me it's live. Let's give me an advert now. I don't want the advert. Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds, thank you for the offer, but I just switched to Pure Talk. Dumb and Dumber ad. Wow. What is this? Why am I watching Dumb and Dumber? I didn't ask for Dumb and Dumber. I'm supposed to be watching my channel. That's just stupid. All right, let's try this again. I'm trying to make sure I can get the sound okay. Are you guys hearing the sound is my question. What is you live, Colonel? Are you telling me I'm live? Is that a statement or a question? Because I don't understand. What the hell is with this thing? There we go. Upcoming. Should be live now. There we go. Let's see if the sound is okay. There we go. Let's see if the sound is okay. All right, cool. There we go. All right. Let's see if the sound is okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let me just kill that then. I don't need that window. So I found it. Cool. All right, thanks, guys. The audio's okay. Yeah, I'm using the attached microphone. I got my reading glass on because it's late here. I hope this gets solved by morning, but this is a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It has been out since before 2 o'clock this afternoon. That was over 8 hours ago. Thank you guys for telling me. Apologies that I didn't get with you sooner, but I've been running around all afternoon. We had an employee that was let go at the Veterans Organization, and he wanted to talk to me about why he was let go. So I didn't do my news broadcasts, which meant about 4,000 viewers didn't get to see my news today. And I said, okay, great. So I had to change my whole schedule around to do this, and drove to a town to get petrol. And I drove over there, went in to get some drinks, picked up some fresh drinks, and went outside to get petrol at the petrol station where it's discount. It's a discount warehouse, BJ's. And while I'm in line to queue at the pumps at the petrol station, the power went out because of the windstorm. So the lady in front of me just standing in front of the pumps. I got out to her. I said, ma'am, is there something wrong with the pump? She goes, yeah, the power's out. I said, okay, well, I guess we got to go. So she jumped in her car and I jumped in my car and we pulled out, and then everyone else tried to pull out. So it took a few minutes to get out. I drove out to the road, which is like a highway, a shopping, center, the strip mall sort of thing you see all over America, unfortunately. And the car's just coming. And finally, I'm like, screw this. I whipped out. Everyone else looked at me. It was a clear shot. And I got on the highway, got back, went to the veterans place where this person was supposed to come in and talk to me. He's supposed to be at 2 o'clock. And now I'm on fumes because I didn't get any petrol. And I get back. It's about a 15-minute drive from where the petrol station is. I get back, and 2 o'clock, he's not there. 2:15, 2:30. Finally, I left at 2:40. I had to go pick up my steamed crabs, which were good, by the way. Then I came back here and I went back in to set up for breakfast with Santa, which is in the morning, and my internet still wasn't working. So now it says it's up, but let me check. This better be fixed by morning because I need to do my rugby broadcast. So let me try to retest it. No, it's still a problem. It's telling me my upload is 20 megabytes. That's supposed to be 1 gigabyte. That's a problem. The only reason I did the live stream is because it was showing me consistently for the last half hour since I've been back that I was getting about 20 or 30 megabytes. Like right now, it's saying 25. But then as soon as it just drops off like that. So I'm sorry about that, folks, but I can't control the provider. So no music, no fancy stuff, just me in front of my mobile. Your dinosaur's not starting. So just me in front of my mobile. I do have news because I brought up news earlier today. I left it up. I'm glad I did, so I can look at my computer because it's still in the cache. And I can talk about some of today's news. But President Trump spoke this afternoon. It was all about pharmaceuticals. As far as I know, there's no mention of South Africa in there. And he's speaking right now in North Carolina at Rocky Mount. But it's honestly, as much as I may like or dislike President Trump, it's all becoming a bit, nauseating. It's the same thing. I won the biggest election ever. We've got this, we got that. It's all, somebody needs to change his speech writing because he's ad-libbing and we're hearing the same thing we've been hearing. And it kind of gets old. I mean, I'm not trying to diss the president, but we don't need, we want something exciting. The verve that he once had isn't there right now. He'll get it back, but it wasn't there. So Marco Rubio also spoke today, but he was talking about peace deals and things like that. Starlink won't solve my problem, Sean. It's too slow. It's too slow. And it's also too pricey. And so it's not going to solve my problem. But I get your point. Maybe I should get it as a backup. If Starlink has a mobile kit that I can take with me anywhere I go, then I would consider it. When I was in the Army, we used to take Inmarsat. We used to have Inmarsat, but it was $9 a minute for the government to pay for that. It was outrageous. But we used Inmarsat to pull out, open up a little, round parabolic dish that opened up like like a flower blooming. You point it up at the satellite and boom, 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 and you hooked up your laptop. If that were the case, and I had a little kit like that for Starlink that I was mobile, I would consider it. Run around anywhere I want to set up and have a big bandwidth connection. But Starlink, it's $500 for the kit, and it's a lot of money per month, and I would rarely need it. So it's not really worth my time or money, to be honest. Quite frankly, it isn't. So, I mean, if I was, everything I do, I can pretty much do on a mobile now. So Starlink is superfluous. But, we'll see how this goes. Good morning. Thank you for all the accurate info on the shenanigans. You're very welcome on that. It's my pleasure. It does have a new mini mobile kit. Okay, there you go. So Conrad, that would be something I might consider, especially if it's less expensive. Yeah, the mini mobile kit might do the trick, but other than that, it really doesn't do anything for me. I'd have to reconfigure everything, hook things up differently, and it really doesn't do the trick. Everybody keeps talking about Starlink like it's some great answer, but the more people get on Starlink, the less bandwidth is available for the rest of us. Think about that. Unless they keep adding satellites. And I think they're close to maxing out there, 5,000 or whatever, 18,000, whatever the total figure it is. Oh, that hit the spot. That hit the spot. Anyway, folks, yeah, so we've had a lot of stuff happen. It's been very consequential. I'm sitting in Benoni, looking at the beautiful green park. Guys, I mean, I've had some really crazy stuff. Let me see if I can find this, if it's still here. I hope I didn't get rid of it. Yeah, okay, so this is a really strange story. So, all right, I'm going to tell you this story, and you're going to find it impossible to believe. Some women might believe it. Some of the men will be like, that's just crazy. That doesn't make any sense. But so we have some internet issues at 18 months now, and that's crazy. Yeah, please, no capitals. Thank you, Renell, for reminding no capitals. Really enjoyed the discussion with the spokesman for Hudson. Yeah, Josh Messery, he's a really interesting guy. So, yeah, we were going to do that earlier in August, but I just couldn't work it out when I was in England, August, September timeline. So we finally got it. And it was timely, actually. It was good that we did it now, so because of all that happened this week. Somebody came on and said they couldn't listen to this because they can't listen to a guy who supports the ANC. I missed that. When did he support the ANC? I did not know that. Yeah, like me, fantastic. 53 likes, 168 people here. 7 minutes, 20 seconds into the stream. No super chats. So here's the thing. There are some folks that were supposed to come over and they had their flight postponed. That was the people from 26 September till about the 10th, 12th October. They were in desperate straits. They needed some help. They didn't have money to eat. So we hooked them up with food socks, and Carl took care of them, got them some food, and that helped them. Now here it is December. They still haven't gotten over. They're not getting any responses from Air Connors. They're not getting responses from RSC. They haven't heard from anybody, and they're increasingly concerned. But that's true of many people in that situation. But here's the strange thing with these folks, and I'm not going to give her name away, obviously. But so the lady says that she had an urgent situation that developed in October. She went to the doctor because her stomach was bothering her. And they did a pap smear and a pregnancy test and a scan. And the doctor said that she had cancer. That's horrible diagnosis. So this is a refugee aspirant, well, and a refugee now, they're approved to come over, who, according to the doctors, developed cancer. She had a problem in her stomach. That's shocking. Now remember that they went through medical screening too, okay? So they were tested for things. So now they're telling her she has cancer rather suddenly. So she went for her medicals in Pretoria, and they also did tests, and they did a pregnancy test and said that she was negative. So now she's had negative tests for pregnancy from 3 different doctors. I did mention that she had 3 doctors she saw for different opinions, and all said she had cancer. All 3 of them said she had cancer, and then she went and got screened, and when she was getting medical screening, they checked for pregnancy, like they checked for tuberculosis. So she was negative. But then they had to take her to the hospital at the end of November. The ambulance took her to the hospital that she was in such bad pain. They did a scan, and then she showed letters saying that she had cancer, and they wanted to operate, and she told them, no, I don't want to be cut. And anyway, so the doctor said, okay, but they have to remove it. So they started moving it from under, anyway. They said it was uterine fibrosis, and when they removed it, she said she had a baby girl. So 3 doctors in South Africa told her she had cancer. She was actually pregnant. Now she has a new baby. What the hell? And the pregnancy, now look, I can expect the pregnancy test got screwed up. Those medical centers aren't perfect. They mix results. They label things wrong. That can happen. But everyone told her she wasn't pregnant. And now she has a baby girl. What the hell? What is going on? This is crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. It's unbelievable. Yeah, exactly, Shawnee. What? I'm guessing she has other daughters. She has kids already. So I'm guessing that she's an older. I mean, it's just this is a what they call a geriatric pregnancy. I would say probably. I don't mean to insult, but I mean, what the hell? Seriously, what the hell? So she's already did the passport, and she's made an appointment for. I mean, they already did the birth certificate and done an appointment for the passport, but now she has to add a child to her case. What the hell? This is another shortcoming of this program. Once you have a case, you ought to have the ability to communicate with these people. And I know everybody, I'm telling you things you don't need to know, but you know this already. But this is batshit crazy. And AM said, how did it possibly happen with my mom with me? Once they did a final test to prep for surgery, the doctor said, wait, the tumor has a heartbeat. Good God. Well, apparently we haven't come that far. We haven't come that far. So she had a baby. Congratulations, but man, she's got to be going through a lot of stress now. I mean, they were going to cut her open. She said, no, because she didn't know she could get a phone call and have to leave, the refugee the next day, So understandable. When was the baby born? I would guess the 28th of November, Kathy. Why are you asking? What does it matter? How is that relevant, Kathy? I'm curious. The 28th of November. So the baby now is 3 weeks old. Good Lord. Daughter stage 4 cancer. They diagnosed her as pregnant until the PET scan. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no kidding. Grateful it's not cancer, but now she has a new problem. And obviously she's on top of things, but she's not getting any responses from them. Meningitis okay, I would appreciate assistance, just be able to honor my contract with this client tomorrow. Maze, I don't how people can help you with that. Yeah, I mean, that's cray, man. That's just batshit crazy, right? It is a miracle. Exactly, Loretta. New life is better than cancer. Wow. Yeah, medical science come a long way. Apparently it hasn't. Does matter because when they took a pregnancy test, it should have shown up. Kathy, that's the point. She had pregnancy test by her doctor. She had a pregnancy test with the medical screening for the refugees. I don't know the date of that. So, I mean, she was obviously, I don't know if she was full term, if it's a preemie or whatever, but she has a baby girl. The child's alive. They've applied for a birth certificate and a passport. I don't know. It sounds like a tall tale. But Wendy, I mean, I've also heard of stories like this before where people never knew they were pregnant, And that's why I said it's probably geriatric pregnancy, because women who are a bit older, who are about to go through menopause, their cycle isn't regular, they don't know about it. Work with a woman who only discovered she's pregnant 8 months. Yeah, exactly. That happens. The baby belongs to someone else. No, they took it out of her. She was conscious. No miracle, it's Africa. Yeah, apparently they're all well, but we're in the comments. She says, yeah, I do wish they had people to respond to it. There's really no way to communicate with RC or anyone. That's true, Philip. Great for her from cancer to newborn. I mean, isn't that crazy? You're being told you had cancer and only to find out that you have a baby. I mean, in some ways, that's an incredibly nice surprise. Sally was 6.5 months pregnant before they finally got it right. Gee, many crickets. $80 a month. That's a lot of money, Chugsy. $80 a month. What's this? I'm Ned for stage. Okay, Maze. I don't know what NED is. I don't know what that means. Well, I mean, that's a crazy story, folks. I mean, that's the sort of stuff I get. I mean, that's just, so let me see what other crazy stories I got in my mail today. If anyone, okay. YouTube is throwing out too many daily change whole platforms in continual state of flux. That's true. Experience become a bigger nightmare than Windows patching. Yeah, as someone from the IT industry, I can understand this, but when you push too hard for IT, for the sake of IT, the less useful our compute technology becomes as a tool for the normal end user. Agreed. YouTube has screwed up things so much. I mean, people keep getting unsubscribed. While they're watching the stream, they get unsubscribed. What the hell is that all about? Company pushing change becomes irrelevant. I think YouTube is pushing too hard probably to get us hooked on AI as quickly as possible. I can feel a knee-jerk neck spasm, left eye twitching event coming up. Oh, thank you for that. Yep. Yeah, this was because someone is asking about the chat. People are saying they can't. What's this? Oh, people are letting me know that there were, I talked about the raid on Woodmead and how there was an interracial couple there. and no one talks about that. No media have covered that. I'm the only person that's revealed that. Also, now I can reveal that there was also an Indian mother and her child were there as well. So Indians and a black person, I believe it's a black person. I say interracial, my presumption is black, but it could have been a colored person in India. But yeah, the interracial couple there. No one's covering that. Yep, it's crazy. Let me see what else I got here. Okay, so let me see what this says. We were in the Tuesday group. Next day, I got an email. It says, congratulations, completing your screening. We have a new case number. A link to settle in the app. Email explains the app a little. Then it ends. We have questions. Has something changed because integration took photos? No. No, these people got a quick response and they ask, is anything changed? Nothing's changed. It's just they probably won't be able to use that venue. Scans are not state of the art. Okay, operator. Yeah, it takes operator. Oh, I know that. Look, when they did the X-ray for my hip, the X-ray technician had to zap me with a freaking X-ray 6 times because she didn't know what she was doing. She's an idiot. Probably going to get cancer in my testicles now because of that. 3 hours review last night. No questions were asked about South Africa. It's clearly not important. Yeah, exactly, Utopia. That's my point. South Africa is not important to the U.S. and it's not important to the reporters unless they have an angle. Do you think South Africa would be so stupid not accept? No, I think they'll accept him. There'll be, as Josh said, there'll be people in DERCO who don't want him to be accepted, but they're not going to be that dumb. The problem is there's no basis. The media is already trying to set the stage. They've already called Brent Bozell an anti-ANC, anti-South Africa, anti-redress ambassador, but they have no evidence of that. That's just bullshit propaganda they're putting out there. They can't point to any statement that anything he said that's beginning against South Africa because I'm not aware of anything he said against South Africa. So they're going to try that, but it's not going to work, I don't think. So anyway, and folks, if we break off, remember I'm on mobile, so sometimes the mobile network gets a little hinky, especially since the internet's down for everybody else. Let me check and see if my speed is picked up, but I don't think they fixed this. They better damn well fix it by morning. Okay, let me see. So no, they haven't fixed it. 4 megabytes they'll upload. That's ridiculous. Instead of a gigabyte, that's just ridiculous. But anyway, so yeah, Rubio, we didn't say anything because, as I said, it just doesn't matter to the United States, South Africa, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I really don't. I mean, why would I waste all my time devoting all this energy with virtually nothing I'm gaining from it other than meeting some really cool people and having a nice time with my audience? I mean, what would I gain from this? You know, because I'm certainly not making money and getting rich off of it, becoming famous. Yeah, at least we have streams. But that's my approach on it, Utopia. So I'm trying to do it this way. Yeah, so it's good for now. But I mean, that's because it's late at night. There's probably not many people in the network. But I mean, why would I waste all my time if spending so much time devoted to South Africa, knowing about South Africa, if I didn't care about South Africa? That's the thing I find absolutely hilarious. Somebody sent me. I can't get it now. Shoot, let me see if I can get it on my phone here. While I've got a moment of internet before it goes away and lap on the PC, let me see if I can get this up again. Somebody sent me this earlier. Who was this voice call? Why are people calling me without my permission? It's 6:47. What is this? Pictures here. What is that? I have no idea what that is. Somebody sent me pictures and video. I'm trying to find I can't remember who sent this to me. God bless it. But someone sent me a picture that someone said something about me. It was absolutely hilarious. Damn it. I cannot find this. Come on, who sent me this? Okay, but they sent me this image. And it wasn't somebody I regularly chat with, so I'm looking now. I can't find it. I hate this. On my phone, I can find it because I left it open there, but I can't find it here. Break the silence about South Africa. Boy, people are passing my number around. You know, that's not helpful. I'm just going to start using my other phone. Ignore this one. I can't find it. It sucks. I mean, I'm going to see if I saved it. I don't think I did. But this person wrote this bizarre thing that I am an NGO and that this is a money-making thing, and and that I only started broadcasting in South Africa because I made a couple videos about farmers and people liked it and they started following me. I mean, what planet are these people on? Now the clock is there, it's just off to the side. So use portable rain, you can hire them on portable rain. It's people like Rady Tlaib and Adrian Basson that think South Africa's the most important topic in the world. No, they're completely wrong. Yeah, my download speed is also very poor. For more than an hour, it was 0. Wow, upload 100 megabytes. Yeah, something weird going on. Okay. Okay, it is a little weird. It was what your customers saying. No, look, I'm getting a lot of flack and attack by people that don't know what they're talking about now, running their mouth about me. But I wish I could find the damn. I mean, I'm afraid to minimize this because then I'll get disconnected if I do it on my phone. I really can't. Let me see if I can find it this way. Let me see something here real quick. We're still live, so whoops, that's not what I want. Okay, let me see. There we go. Maybe I can find it this way. Okay, give me a second. We're still live. I didn't go anywhere, right? Okay, come on. That's not what I want. So I want this like that. Okay. It's not going to quite work. It's playing nice for me here. Let me try it again. Oh, come on. Okay, so okay, I got to find where it gets me to WhatsApp, and maybe it'll take me to the one I was at. Okay, 38. No, I got disconnected. Yeah, yeah, I was worried that disconnected me. Sorry about that, folks. That doesn't work. Got me disconnected. Wow. Okay, so sorry about that. Are you still there? Are we still have everybody? Yeah. Yeah, that's anyway. So it says it was disconnected. I can't do that. See, that's the problem. If I wasn't on my, anyway. Yes. What state? What do you mean, Art Queen? What state? What are you talking about? Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, Rena, welcome to. I mean, you have to admit though, this mobile phone is amazing. This thing is 5 years old. You lost the sound. Is the sound gone now? Let me take a look and see. Let me take a look and see here. Come on. YouTube. Okay, live. That's the audio's okay. Yeah, I'm using the attached microphone. Yeah. I'm reading last night because it's late. I hope this gets solved by morning. This is a nightmare. Okay. So now I'm live again. Okay. So now I'm live again. No, I can hear myself just fine on here. I don't know why you guys are having problems. Also, I found a way to fix the problem that people were having a problem with the sound. My computer automatically adjusted my software on my microphone and lowered it to 21%. That's why people weren't hearing me on my desktop. I did some checking earlier, went through a whole bunch of different settings, and I found that it auto adjusted. So I've turned that capability off. I didn't know it was turned on. By default, got turned on when my software. The software I use for my microphone, the HyperX microphone that I use on my desktop, it comes with software which changes the lights, like that. Can change the lights, can make it flash, do things. It also changes the settings. You can raise the levels and stuff. So you also have a setting down here that adjusts, the amount of volume that goes out. And then on the back, you can change what the setting for how it is, whether it's two-way, bi-directional, or it's a cardioid, or it's 360. So I have it set so it's just me talking into the microphone. That's a spittle block there. Anyway, so this microphone, the software updated, and I didn't know it, but it adjusted the audio volume automatically and set it. I must have had something playing, and it lowered it to 21. That's why people weren't able to hear. So one of the reasons I wanted to do the live stream is to test the microphone, make sure you guys are hearing better now. But yeah, so I've adjusted that and maxed out the microphone so I can turn it. Yes, I know some people are selective hearing. That's true. Just another girl says, I knew we weren't crazy about the sound. No, apparently you weren't crazy, but we had a problem a few weeks ago when people were just being trolls and saying there was the problem with the sound, but I put it on, there was no problem with the sound whatsoever. So we never know. You get people come in playing silly games. So anyway, so that should have fixed the problem, and I know to check it now. So in fact, let me pull the software up on my PC. My PC's on, but it's useless to me right now because of the internet. So if I go to microphone settings under Ingenuity, yeah, so I've got mic monitoring, headphone volume. Why does that? This should mess my headphone. Yeah. Anyway, and I've got the mic volume. I've got it turned off so it can't be changed. Also, it's in a cardioid pattern. So I don't know. Let's see if I can show you this, guys. The software. Can you see that? That's the software there. So right here is where the volume was. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just pointing at. You might not be able to see anything. I can't see backwards. I don't have eyes on the other side of the phone. But anyway, so that's what that is. Yeah. So it's all handled by software. Yeah, no, just another girl. Thank you. I'm thankful for people for saying it. I mean, enough people said something. I knew I had to take a look at it. But I mean, we've had this problem before with people being trolls. So I would have looked at it sooner, but I was busy. So anyway, I've looked at it, always trying to get it right. So you did see it. Okay, yeah. So that software changed volume. So no matter how high I turn this, or no matter how high I put it in my, so I've got to have this. I got to have the volume set in my audio settings in my Windows. Then I've got to have it set on the microphone itself physically. Then I've got to have it set on the software to control the microphone. And then the other setting is in the streaming software. Yeah, no, the ANC is not as important as they think they are. And that's what's crazy. Okay. That's so kind. I want to teach you not crash and lose integrity. Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't record a snippet of your interview yesterday to show you the difference between your sound and your guest. No, I lowered my guest. Drop the mic. Why would I drop the mic? The mic is fantastic. The mic is fantastic. It's an incredible microphone. Yep. Why would I drop it? A glimpse behind the scenes. Yeah. Well, I've done that before. I have a second camera on here, but I rarely use it. So the screen to my right has a second camera on it. Anyway, so South Africa rejects U.S. threats over Kenyan deportations. Ian, what's going on? Ian Smith is with us. Wow, folks, all the way from Rhodesia. Welcome. Durko dismissed allegations of political motivation and deportation. South African authorities have rejected U.S. threats over deportation of 7 Kenyan nationals. Well, you can reject the threats all you want. That doesn't mean they're taken back. I mean, the U.S. made the threats. So South Africans can reject it all they want. It doesn't change anything. There are the problems with Islam in Texas. No, I don't. I don't know what's the issue with Islam in Texas. U.S. is not going to put a travel ban on South Africa. Who said that? That's not going to happen. Windows updates, Adobe updates, Microsoft updates, McAfee updates, malware updates, and every time ends with more problems. Exactly. It's because these people don't work together, the developers, and it's a problem. So U.S. had warned South Africa over severe consequences about deportations. Actually, that's a lie. See, this is fake news. This is fake news from Tundo Mako of the Times Live. See, either they're intentionally doing this or they just not very bright. So Tondo, let me explain something. The U.S. did not warn South Africa about severe consequences over deportations. The United States warned South Africa about severe consequences over doxing its diplomats. That was the problem. See, they lie to people. This is just a blatant lie. And people read this and believe it. So then what they'll say is, see, the Americans don't respect our law. It has nothing to do with your law. You don't respect the Vienna Conventions and our diplomatic rights. That's what this issue is. Hasn't a damn thing to do with the Kenyans. Nothing to do with the Kenyans. What's with the coffee? Yeah, so Home Affairs Department and other law enforcement agencies earlier this week carried out a raid on Immigration Center in Pretoria East, which was established by the U.S. to facilitate. That's actually factually wrong, too. It wasn't in Pretoria East. It was in Woodmead. What the hell is this? I mean, is this journalism? Why do you even have an editor at this publication? How did an editor not catch that it occurred at Woodmead? I mean, you guys know that it occurred at Woodmead, right? It was at Woodmead. It wasn't in Pretoria East. Pretoria East is Linwood. There's not Pretoria East. Give me a break. Which was established to facilitate immigration of white Afrikaners to the U.S. under its refugee program. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's not why it was established. What a crock. So I'm just going to take this story, and when I'm done here tonight, I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to show how factually incorrect this is. I mean, this is unbelievable. Kool-Aid spoke about fight warnings and TPS. What are you talking about? What the guy has a channel? What are you talking about? What do you think there'll be? Do you think, yes, there's going to be consequences, just another girl, absolutely going to be consequences. 35 kilometers off point, yeah. So everything in that paragraph is a lie. The Immigration Center ones who are found to have violated various South African laws, and Kenyan nationals who were found to be working the site were only in possession of tourist visas and were subsequently deported. Okay, that's factually incorrect too. There were no violations of South African law other than the Kenyans purportedly working. That's the only violation. Violation, not violations. They said no officials were arrested during the raid. No, but they were unlawfully detained and harassed. Yep. In a statement on Thursday, the Department of National Relations said the recent deportation of 7 Kenyan nationals were carried. Yeah, anyway. Okay. Trump administration has for months put pressure on the opposed government, accusing it of quietly allowing the persecution of white African farmers. There's been no pressure put on the South African government. What pressure? What pressure? There's no pressure. That's a lie. Official channel has been open with the U.S. government to seek clarity on this allegation, said Durko. So this is just nonsense. Just nonsense. Anyway, see, that's what passes for journalism. Wow, that's what passes for journalism. Sewage on sea. Yes, that's the guy's channel. So what did Cooley say? Yeah, it's the same building they had the interviews. I know it's a Woodmead. What I'm saying is that they said it's in Pretoria East. I can't do that in YouTube, Jeremy. Tell me how I do that in YouTube. I'm on my mobile phone. It doesn't give me an option to change the settings. It doesn't do that. I know it's backwards on the screen because it's an actual reflection. It doesn't let you set a mirror on your mobile. I know that. I can do that in the desktop software, but not minute. Yeah, but okay, Cooley, 10 minutes of Cooley. But what did he say? What did he say? I'm aware that everything's backwards, but it works great for me. Can actually point to something that isn't backwards. The clock is actually there, which is over this shoulder, not over this shoulder. When I'm on the screen, you can see it properly. I have to remember to do everything backwards. FT states months ago and up to now, nobody's contacted us. Well, you didn't apply months ago, Leon. No months ago. You put a statement of interest in. Did you put an intake questionnaire in? If you haven't put an intake questionnaire in since the 4th of November, then you're never going to get a phone call, Leon. That's my first question. Have you done the intake questionnaire? If not, you will never be called. The embassy made that clear on the 4th of November, and I've made it clear in multiple broadcasts since then. No, Woodmead cannot be guarded by U.S. military. We have no status of force agreement that allows for that. Doesn't matter what's above board. It's sovereign territory of South Africa. We can't just put troops there. We have to have their permission, and that would be a provocation on our part. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Nope. So, no. So, no, it can't be Mace. No, it can't be guarded. It's sovereign South African soil. You know, I've said that from the very beginning, too. And back in August, I said, you know, if they use these guys, they may have a problem. You've got comms for an appointment. Okay, good. Oh, no, Jeremy, that's fine. I wish I could. I mean, because it's very confusing for people. Like when I have shirts on, that you read it backwards. There's a way to do that in TikTok, but it's very complicated. You have to pick a template in TikTok. And I tried a couple times. I got it right, and then I forget which template it is. You got to search through hundreds of templates there. Anyway, that's on TikTok. But here on YouTube, I'm not aware of a setting that lets me mirror my image, which is very annoying. Very annoying. I don't like things being backwards. Briefly, U.S. security. Well, briefly. Well, we've already talked about it. Briefly. I gave them an interview, and they still got things wrong. So let me see briefly. Let me see what that article is. Briefly saw that. Sorry, guys. Put my face up in the camera like that. Briefly news. Here we go. Let's see what they say. Jessica and Kosi. Who cares? Epstein. Oh, yeah, the Epstein files came out. I wanted to broadcast on that, my regular channel, but I had no internet. Yeah. So 300,000 Epstein documents, and everybody wants them. They're not categorized. They're not indexed. And so far, all they found is pictures of Bill Clinton hanging out with young chicas and with creeps. And that's about it so far. So all the big, you know, for all the people obsessing over Epstein, here you go, yet another dump of data, 300,000 documents. He vanished in 1979. I didn't know that. Okay. Had it been the actual embassy they raided, could that be seen as an act of war? I'm not sure. Okay, Leon, you have done the questionnaire. All I can advise is patience, Leon. There are people in the same boat as you who haven't been called yet. There are people in the same boat as you who have been called. It's just a question of when they get to you. There aren't that many people working this. That's the thing people keep forgetting. So they went to Woodmead and they arrested 7 Kenyans. 7 Kenyans for 100,000 people. Think about it. How much work can 7 Kenyans do? Yes, I know there are Kenyans back in Kenya, RSC, who are doing stuff back there, but there's only so many people in each stage of the pipeline. So, I mean, it's really unrealistic for people to be like, you know, I wrote months ago, I did this. It's just, I mean, that's just the way it is. So I appreciate where you're coming from, Leon, but there's really no, hey, what's going on, Dan? Yeah, a lot of clickbait out there. People put clickbait out. Cultural orientation, nice hoodie. Yeah, this is the hoodie. It's backwards. Muddies. Crap on there. So there you go, muddies. Yep. Yep. So what does Rohan say that somebody said, wow? I had a cultural orientation. Other family were there. They said the family back home. Interviews when it happened, raid happened. They witnessed a lady get an epileptic seizure. Okay, I didn't see that. That's the first time I've heard about that, an epileptic attack. I can't confirm that. I can confirm that there was, based on what people have told me, there was an interracial couple there, and now I confirm there's an Indian woman and her mother were there as well. So yeah. Anyway, that I can't confirm. Also, I can confirm that U.S. officials were harassed, and the site was unlawfully searched They invaded diplomatic privilege. They violated diplomatic privilege, and they can deny it all they want, but the facts are the facts. Also, that U.S. official's passport was illegally scanned and then shared with someone, and they can deny it all they want, but I can't confirm that that person is a U.S. Army veteran. That person is a U.S. government employee in the executive branch of the U.S. government, and that person was in South Africa doing business related to the refugees on official business on a diplomatic mission. And in fact, the passport you see says he's an official of the U.S. government on official business, which would be the official maroon colored passport like this jersey color. That's someone there working on behalf of government. He was given a passport, a visa by the South African government to enter the country. They knew what he was doing. He was declared to the South African government. They had no problem with it. In addition, the Kenyans enter the country legally. They're lying about them entering illegally. The government admitted that later on that they entered legally, but of course the social media, Twitter sphere keeps lying about them. And then the little scumbag from Sunnyside keeps lying about me and making videos. She is so desperate for attention and become famed by lying about me. Someone really is one day going to give her a comeuppance. Is it safe to assume there's surveillance of people coming and leaving the processing centers, thus driving our own MVs can be traced? Well, you are being neurotic, Xavier. But yeah, you should know that from the very beginning. Again, the reason I told people to keep their yaps shut about the refugee centers had nothing to do with the South African government. The South African government knows these activities are taking place. They're declared to the South African government. They know where these locations are. This is not a surprise. It's only a surprise to the likes of Peter Dutoy and his crowd of evil bastards who dox people. That's why we told people to keep your mouth shut. Don't tell people where the processing centers are, because bastards like the news Cockprot 24 and the toilet paper record, which to their credit hasn't run a story on this, and Times Live, and as well as malicious actors would use this. So now News 24 has done the unbelievably unconscionable, shameless behavior in which they have ran a story calling it investigative journalism, in which they've got a hold of an email, which they have no right to have, about how the process is done, the times you're supposed to be there, when you finish at the end of the day, where the location is, information about the size of the center, information about who is working there, and also the date that they're supposed to resume operations there. All of that has been disclosed to the public by that disgraceful so-called mediella shitbag 24. That's who they are. Yeah, but yeah, it's safe to assume because the South African government's always known. They've always had people watching these sites. It's a matter of prudence. If I was the South African government and people were processing refugees in my country, I would have undercover police somewhere nearby observing it, or cameras there so that we can have a response team in case something were to happen. That's just being responsible. I'm giving the South African more credit than they deserve. What looks Christmassy? This is not a provocation. It is a provocation. Because it could, and what were the implications? Well, gosh, Ricky, Ricky's saying, I guess you haven't been watching the program. I've only been talking about this endlessly. I've slept for about 6 hours this week. It's lots of things can happen. I would expect to see that some officials are going to be spanked for this unless they cough up someone, a low-level guy that they want to make the fall guy. Yeah, no, he didn't take. He went after my video of him doxing. I didn't see that. No, I know that his video went down because Twitter took it down. No, I didn't see that. Just another girl. Somebody sent me the link to that. So he made a video attacking me. Well, we'll see who wins that argument. I didn't commit a crime. He did. Must have been traumatic for them all. What a way to remember the trek. Yeah, no, it was traumatic. I got the crabs, Elmarie, and they were actually better than I expected. They were quite meaty and tasty. And I've got a crab cake. I bought a crab cake, and they're very kind because I do a lot of business there, and so they like me. So they gave me an extra large crab cake, and I'll probably eat that, not tonight, but I'll eat it tomorrow after the rugby, assuming I actually have internet. It's stayed up for a little bit now, but it's still slow. So, yeah, I did get the crabs. Thank you for asking. Yep. Milking South African story day and night, Colonel. Milking the South African story day and night. Don't know what you're talking about there, Nick Widmer. I didn't start this program talking about this story. I didn't talk it. People ask me questions. I'm answering their questions. Night Owls is a session where I answer questions. We talk about things. We usually make a few songs. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, Nick. Milking it. If you don't like hearing it, then perhaps you should put on, underwater basket weaving or, I don't know, paint drying or something like that. I don't understand what your point is here. People ask a question, I answer it. That's not milking it. I have done coverage of it, and I've broken 3 major events. I broke the raid, I broke the doxing of the U.S. official, and I also broke the story of the U.S. response. So, whatever. And I'm an independent journalist, and so if you don't like the story, man, then you don't have to watch the program. That's your prerogative. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about being surveilled. Just remember that any applications previous November application is void. Exactly. Are the donations coming in? What donations? What are you talking about? Is this some kind of troll? Oh, dear God. Can I have a moderator get rid of this hate wanker? Oh, my gosh. Donations. Hey, buddy. Come here. I'll give you a donation for you. Feigning when they drew blood in South Africa. Good Lord. You drew blood? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. You can just block that idiot, too. Just block him. It's a moron. Oh, just a post. Yeah. Yes, I got crabs. Screenshot in his post tagging Elon asking to take it down. No, his channel was his thing was deleted. Small channel called Spill It. Yeah, I know. That's because Bianca von Vijk is a lying scumbag piece of human filth who is a slanderous person, and she's keeping it up, and I guess she thinks that I won't prosecute her. Think again. After she slandered me recently and committed criminal injuria, I consulted with 3 lawyers in South Africa, and all 3 said that I have a case. One of them offered to cover my legal expenses pro bono to sue her. So she moves forward at her own peril. Yeah, she does. So I don't talk about that loser, but if she wants to keep running her mouth, she's desperate for fame. She has nothing. She's a loser, and just like so many other losers try to glom onto my content to become famous. It's in some ways it's kind of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Complimentary in some respects that these losers are so desperate that they have to steal my content and lie about me to try to get attention. That black guy did it early this year, lying about what I said, and people didn't watch him. Just a bunch of echo chamber. She's trying to grow her pathetic little channel, trying to pretend she's a journalist. She's bringing guys on who openly, blatantly lie about things, and that would be Thea von Staden's partner or spouse, whatever the guy is. He blatantly lied. Whoever her partner or spouse is, stalked her, followed her to the airport, and then lied in that so-called interview in which he said, I didn't even know she left for America until I heard she landed. That's bullshit. The guy actually stalked her, and there's law enforcement. There are dozens of witnesses who can attest to that. So, look, I don't really care. I really don't care about losers like that. There's a lot of losers out there. They're desperate. They have no credentials, no bona fides. They've accomplished nothing in their life other than strolling the streets and prowling for attention. So, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I really can't control them, but I can tell you this. She's going to keep it up, and she's going to find herself served with a legal notice because she's committing criminal injury, she's committing slander, and it's actionable. So, just because I'm not in South Africa doesn't mean she can't be sued. Doesn't mean she can't be sued. All right. I'm on my mobile, Rudolph. Thank you for the 50 Rand, Amanda Larson. I appreciate that. So there you are. What was that guy that we just asked to leave? He got a timeout or was blocked or whatever. There you go, buddy. Was it Rohan? There you go. There's a donation. Oh, does that hurt your feelings? These people are so envious and jealous that people give donations to, interesting people like Officer Tatum or the Hodge twins or, God forbid, Candace Owen or myself or Ronaldo. It really hurts their feelings. They can't make any money. They can't make anything in life. And so when we give interesting analysis or we entertain people, it really hurts their feelings that someone actually gives us money. What a sad, sad bunch. Yeah, she has a few channels. She is demented. She's really got some issue. Is it flattering? I guess. You got a notification. That's good, Jules. Welcome. Jenny Ramsey says this would not have happened. Kenny's refused working on tour season. Well, Jenny, first off, you obviously didn't watch the broadcast earlier. South Africa, I'm not defending what the Kenyans did. I'm not defending what the Americans did or didn't do with them. But I am going to point out the obvious hypocrisy of the South Africans. We saw earlier when we had Josh Mersave on the program, he worked for RSC. He's an American who worked for RSC in Kenya. And he was sent to South Africa to process refugees from Somalia and from the DRC back to the States. He was granted a visa to do that. South Africans gave him a work visa. He came there. They had no problem with that. They had no problem with RSC working in South Africa previously. They just have a problem with people working this. So I'm not sure what you're getting at, but it's all bullshit. the whole thing. So look, I mean, South Africans created a pretext so they could do this, so they could try to embarrass America, and that's fine. If they want to act like asses, that's their prerogative to act like asses. But the bottom line is that those people enter the country legally. RSC has been sending people to South Africa for years to work on these cases, and the South African government is just being a bunch of asses about this. And so it's their prerogative to be asses, Jenny. That's their prerogative. It's not sad it happened. It's an intentional provocation, and it's not surprising it happened on Reconciliation Day. It was a message to send and intimidate South Africans, and they interfere with a diplomatic program. Simple as that. Simple as that. So there you go. Does she think that she's being so very left and slandering you in the program will save her from what's coming? No, I don't think. I think she's just that stupid. These are the same people who destroyed Amy Justine LaRue's life. These are the same scumbags who destroyed her life. They falsely claimed that Amy was Sky when it was actually Joe Amelia's wife, and they destroyed her life. And they contacted her employer, and they sent screenshots and falsely claimed they lied, and they said they have forensic data, they manipulated data, and they presented. There's actually a judgment against one of these hate wankers who destroyed her life, but he'll never pay because I think he's in New Zealand now. They destroyed her life. They drove her to the verge of self-elimination. It was a really tragic story. Unbelievable. And so towards the end of that, when we became aware of what was going on, the nature of it, I started a campaign called I Am Sky. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I Am Sky. I got invited into a conversation one night, and I just said that, well, I'm Sky. Thank you, 1090/ for becoming a master and commander. They're just really nasty people. It's horrible people. Horrible people. Have you seen Fakila Mabalu's comments at the ANC Youth League Conference? No, I didn't see it. That guy is a complete loser. He's got nothing useful to say. I know that he has come to America and he sat down and talked to American officials and lied to their face. And they think he thinks the Americans don't know they're lying. Going to go on with the program? Yeah, they will. They will, Anna Kruger. Don't worry about that. How's your car, Anna? Is your car okay? Just let it go. So always pay for your time, Colonel. Your expertise is priceless. Thank you. Appreciate that. People have these brain farts on these other podcasts ever helped? Exactly. Exactly. Before I went live here, I was actually trying to help the lady who just had a baby. And also there's some folks in Rochester, New York, I'm trying to help. So I'm doing that. I don't get paid for that. I mean, that's not my business. Who is in charge of CWS in the States? I know the guy's name. He writes nasty things, Charles. And they don't answer. They don't talk to the press. They blew me off in July when I contacted them. It turns out that Daily Maverick tried to contact them, and I think News 24 tried to contact them. They just blow everybody off. Church World Services needs an enema. Family is supposed to fly before shutdown, had tickets and everything, now still waiting as one of us went over, but the rest is still. I don't understand why one went over. Was it someone linked to your case? That doesn't make any sense at all. It couldn't have been a member of your family as a minor. It must have been a parent or a cousin or something like that. You'll get to you. Sorry about that, Christian Peters. They will get to you. Several of the families that were supposed to have gone now, but I would have run the program differently. You would have been first off the list. As far as I know, almost all the people who were at the refugee center on Tuesday are now in the States. There's a few that are still supposed to come over, and I'm not going to announce the day they're coming over, but most have come over the States now. Peter DeToy, 13-hour disinformation follows a clear pattern consisting of 2 stages and 4 steps. Okay, for the time and effort you're helping, it's not that you don't get nearly enough. No. Forrester modes, yeah, no, not even remotely. I mean, again, I did the math just a few weeks ago. Last time I checked, it was about $700,000 in consulting fees that I've foregone with my time this year just discussing the refugee program. So, yeah, is Rohan the hate wanker still here, or did he? Now they can't comment. Is he gone? A phone call would have been just as effective, if not more. Obviously, planned. Neil DeBeer would have had a field day with this. Yeah, he would have. Neil DeBeer would have had a field day with this. No, I mean, a phone call would have done the trick. They didn't have to raid. They said, we did a sting. We had intelligence. What do you mean you had intelligence? The Americans told you they're there. They applied. That's the funniest thing. You hear that idiot from the ANC? We did a sting. We had intelligence. We did an operation. It was authorized. What do you mean intelligence? You knew they were there. They applied for visas. They asked for work visas. They came in on a tourist visa. They went through a process of appealing it when you turned it down. Then you sent the letter, as you admitted yourself, you dummies. You sent it to the South African High Commission in Nairobi. Well, these are Kenyan nationals working in South Africa. If they're working there, or at least in South Africa, how would they get the letter that you sent to the High Commission, the South African High Commission in Kenya? Ostensibly, they would have given it from the Kenyan to the Kenyan officials, but then how are the Kenyan officials supposed to contact Kenyan nationals? The Kenyan government doesn't track their hundreds of thousands of Kenyan nationals living and working around the world. I mean, that's just a non-starter. This is just all bullshit. It's all provocation. Everybody trying to cover for the South African government is just full of it. You can make all excuse you want. South Africa is a sovereign state. They can do what they want here, but they cannot violate diplomatic privilege. They cannot raid a diplomatic facility. They cannot harass U.S. diplomats or officials, which is what they did. And they sure as hell can't dock somebody, which is what they did. So they're wrong. And the whole thing was a setup. So there's more to this story than the public knows, okay? Let me just tell you that right now. There is more to this story than the public knows. And there are things I have not disclosed. So, give it time. I know things that maybe I'm not supposed to know. It's not in the public domain yet, and I'll have to wait and see if the U.S. government addresses it, because if I were to share the things that I do know, then that could harm things. I'm not here. It's like, people want to know what I know about the Minister of Agriculture. I'm not getting into that until that guy's out of the office. Then maybe I'll talk about it. Where do I listen to the Colonel Stormers? That would be on my Rugby Ascendant channel, Jacques Vermeulen. Hopefully by 8:30 in the morning for me, which is about 9.5 hours from now, I'll have it. Thank you, Carlos. My interview with Josh was superb. Yep. What would be the future be for the program? We know the government wants this halted most. Yeah. The future is it'll continue. I think it's going to accelerate now. Yeah. CWS needs an enema. Some more funds to complain about. There you go. Thank you. Just another girl. There you go, guys. Just piss him off. Piss him off with the donations. Do you see a chance for South Africa in the future? No, I'm losing hope for South Africa. I'm losing hope for South. This sort of behavior is just, it's draconian. It's Soviet-esque. It was unnecessary. All they had to do is, this was a setup. I mean, if it hadn't happened on Reconciliation Day, it might have been more believable that it was. But what other operations did Home Affairs do on Reconciliation Day? I'm still waiting for an answer on that. But here's the thing. It was my intention, but because my viewers trust me and viewers got in contact with me, I became the disruptor. I broke the news cycle. I ruined their big chance to make the Americans overreact. And the Americans didn't overreact. The Americans still haven't overreacted. And so when Times Live lies and says the United States threatened South Africa because of deportation, no, they didn't. Americans have no say in whether South Africa deport Kenyan nationals. They're not even trying to have any say. That's not even a winning argument. There's no basis for that. But they tell their low information readers that, and they believe that. Oh, the Americans are lawless. They can do what they want. I mean, somebody in the chat said this nonsense earlier. No, moron. That's not the truth. The truth of the matter is the South African government doxed a U.S. government official and put his life at risk. And the people that did it are dumb as a box of rocks. They're dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, the guy is an American citizen, naturalized, born in West Africa in a Francophone country, and probably has a Francophone accent, and he has an African name. I guess because he's black, he had an accent, he must be an African. So these morons thought he was a Kenyan. So they copied the pages of his passport. Then they shared it online and said, oh, he illegally entered the country. I'm seeing these people. Well, he went through Botswana, went through Mozambique. Oh, please stop. He was there on official business. He didn't go through those countries to get there. Just utter nonsense. These people are not very bright. I mean, this is who runs your government? I mean, first off, it's stupid as anything to give out diplomats information or officials. Different Rohan, I think. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name Rohan. Yeah, he's blocked, that guy. Yeah, it wasn't you, man. It wasn't you. Relax. There's more than one Rohan here. There's more than one Eric in here. There's more than one Steve in here. Cheryl says, thank you for all you do, Colonel. It's very good to hear that the people who were in the center have made it. Most have. Not all are here, Cheryl. Most have made it over. Not all have made it. There's still a few more that need to come over. There are only so many seats on planes, and they have to rebook. They were able to rebook, I think, about half the people the next day. There you go, Jacques Vermeulen. Look for Rugby Ascendant. You'll find my channel, okay? I have not set up the stream yet because the internet kept going in and out. When I'm done with this, I'm going to record a video in which I embarrass that journalist because it's not journalism. I'm sorry. My intent is not to embarrass journalists, but I'm going to point out the lies in that story. Yep. And then I will set it up on Rugby Ascendant. And hopefully I won't have a problem with the broadcast. So Joshua knows so much more than he can share with us mere mortals. It is truly sad there are people like Sonny said. Yeah, it is, Varoshka, but there's a lot of them in South Africa. A lot of ferrayas, a lot of lying sacks of shit in South Africa. Hope all is well. There's someone I can email. I've got a question about an email I got from CWS. Bennett, I don't know what your question is. You can ask it here. If it's private, you can send me an email. If I can, I'll try to answer it. Rugby Senate for excellent rugby. Thank you very much, Maze. And Rebel Refugees gave 140 Rand to irritate the trolls. The clouds are gathering. Ta-ta. The clouds are gathering. Indeed they are. Feels weird hearing Rohan hate wanker. Not many Rohans. I'm sorry about that, Rohan. I think the guy was Rohan, so I apologize. It wasn't directed. It's like, well, Matt, if you think you feel bad, Rohan, imagine all the women named Karen and what life they go through now because of that stupid stuff. We had intelligence. Okay, I'm going to have to stop you right there. Objectively false statement. You know exactly what they were doing. Obviously, the double time overtime was approved for. Right, that has to be approved ahead of time. Anybody that knows anything about the government. CB's here. I didn't see her. What happened to member Dixon has vanished. Huh? What are you talking about, Jan? You talking about Matthew Dixon? He's around. Can you really call it work if the Kenyans here in South Africa only escorted you to a room for an interview for a Kenyan? Well, Pikachu, I don't know. Hudspeth's spokesman said exactly what you stated as to how the dumbasses could have handled it. Exactly, Jackie Kane, if they wanted to. But they handled this way as an intentional provocation, and then they're going to try to fall back on mealy mouth stuff. So, whatever. But remember, see, here's the thing. When you talk about the Sunnyside Prowler and all the other hate wankers that are attacking me, remember what they said initially? They called me a liar and a racist and a CIA agent and a white supremacist because I simply reported that this happened. Show us the video. It's not true. It never happened. There was no raid. Oh, this guy is a plant. Don't believe this guy. You see the Twitter comments on my video? How many views did I get on that thing, by the way? I don't really pay much attention to my Twitter account. But I just posted because it was a big story. Let me see. So let me go to my profile. And let me see. Where's that video at? Joe Emilio. Come on. 108,000 views, 366 comments, and most of them are very, very nasty. Very, very nasty. Then the next one I did about the docs only got 18,000. So, yeah. And the one that I've got currently up, which the one's pinned at the top here? The one now is 16,000 on their statement about harassing. Yeah. So of that 108,000, I got some really, really nasty comments because people just don't like the truth. No one had said anything genuine about the quality of my reporting or that I got something wrong. They just attack me in an ad hominem manner because they're just nasty people. I was once made the mistake of watching that teabag, brain dead for days. Yep. Yeah, no, Bex, I may have the wrong name. I said that. Rohan needs to chill out. It's not about him, man. God bless. But cautious that the Bank of Japan only raised interest rates by 25 basis points. Yeah, no, I heard they're going to raise by 75 basis points too, which if they'd done that would have been shocking. Yeah, that would have tanked their economy. Joe Texas gave another one to piss them off. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't have the alert because I'm on my phone. What's going to happen with the refugees now? What do you mean? Tawfiq Musa, what do you mean? What do you mean, what's going to happen? They're going to continue to be processed. They're going to continue to be brought to America. Flights are coming every day. Clouds are gathering. Refugees are arriving every day. I get so many messages every time I turn around in my WhatsApp account, in my email account. We've just arrived. We're in Virginia. We're in North Carolina. We're in Rochester. We're in Las Vegas. We're in California. From coloreds, from Indians, from mostly whites. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. I saw one story yesterday in South African media said that the program is mostly geared towards white South Africans. That's actually true. Most of the people, but that's in no small measure because of the propaganda spread by South Africans in the media. And in the government, dissuading people from applying. Besides a short statement from Schreiber, the DA has been suspiciously quiet. Yes, isn't that interesting, Dirk? Yeah, they don't want to touch this 10-foot full. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult the box of rocks. Ooh, Mays gave 140 Rand. Ooh, bring him on. Press G said where the official is from. Should he have done that? It doesn't matter now. I just didn't do it, but that's his prerogative. Tell me where he said. I want to confirm what he said, okay? Dardy, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you. Most of those leftist stories start with once upon a time in a far away. Good morning. Oh my goodness, I'm late today. No, you're fine, love hate. Joey gave a 35 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. I've got to be up at 5:30 because we have breakfast with Santa in the morning, so I've got to do that. For those that require military records, it's easy to obtain your nearest military base HR. I was very surprised how easy to get. Okay, didn't know that. Is that Herman Lowe? Thank you for sharing that. Just to twist the knife a bit more, AfriForum released a 10-minute YouTube video yesterday to list the 10 main reasons why ANC is in the U.S. Yeah, did they steal from my content? And where did they release AfriForum? Where is that? Tell me where I can find that, Dirk. Where is that? Is that on YouTube? Is that on their AfriForum site? Clouds are gathering over that troll. Yeah. There you go, Varushka. 100 Rand. Thank you, Colonel. To hell with the trolls and hate wankers. Yep. Thank you, sir. It is private. Can someone please share it? Yeah, please put the email up there, and I'll do my best to get to it. But I'm always behind on email. So there you go. Renell, put it up. How can we help the refugee program? Kara Farmak, how can you help? Just spread the word, let people know about my channel, and not the people. So we've got someone in America telling people she gets some things right, so I'm going to give her credit for that. But she slandered me, and she's an evil, nasty person. So I'm not going to mention her name. But recently, one of these lunatics who talks about refugees and claims to be an expert in this, but she has no bona fides, no experience, and she's given people really dangerous and bad advice in the past, but has correctly stated something recently. There's a disturbing trend. We've seen a number of refugees who arrive on the East Coast and West Coast of the United States, and they're getting substandard assistance from refugee assistance agents, and that's really sad to see. Unlike what we saw in Twin Falls, great support there from the Refugee Assistance Center. We also saw in North Carolina great assistance, but we've seen exception of Texas, where we had an outlier where someone was treated like crap, but that's because the lesbian didn't like white South Africans, and so we got that lesbian sorted out. And I'm not mentioning that this is lesbian because I have a thing about lesbians. I don't. I'm just saying that that was her problem because she's lesbian. She had this worldview that I don't know why. Most lesbians are pretty cool. I don't know what her problem was, but anyway. So yeah, but there's a trend, and that lady is correct. There's a trend where people are getting appalling service, but she's telling people to move. She's also telling you things that are factually untrue about, you can just rock up at any place and tell them you're a refugee and they have to give you support. That's factually untrue. If they don't have the case, then they don't have to do anything. You have to ask to transfer the case, and they don't have to accept it. The refugee assistance centers don't have to take cases. They have to have the capacity to support it. So when Homeland Security contacts them and said, okay, we've got someone we need to send to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Can you take this case over? And if they don't have the resources or the personnel, they say, well, no, we can't. We're saturated. You're going to have to send them somewhere else. So telling someone to pick up and move stakes because they want to live in Nebraska, or they want to live in Montana, or they want to live in Utah, and there's no refugee assistance officer nearby, where there is, and they're not in that program with them, they're not going to automatically get support. I've told you that from the beginning. And this lady is giving bad advice. So you can listen to her all you want. That's your fault, your problem. But I'm getting a number of people who do this, and then they reach out to me and say, oh, I was convinced to move. And I'm like, hey, listen, I told you the truth. You chose to listen to some wackadoodle who doesn't know what they're talking about, slanders other people. That's on you, not on me. So I can't help people that do stupid things. I think the 5th January, the refugee program will accelerate. Natasha says, my daughter bought a suitcase. They asked her. She told them holiday in the Western Cape. Good move, Anna. Smart move. Gaslighting. Do something wrong, and instead of addressing, they would rather turn it into an argument about your character and why you're the one who's wrong. Exactly. Love, hate. That's exactly what happens here. They gaslight people, and then they lie about me. But whatever. Klaus Ulrich, you took your message away. What are the 100? Yeah, the Palestinians that came in, that's a whole other story. What about the 7 million illegal aliens in South Africa who run Zama's, tuck shops, spaza shops, work illegally? Nothing going down there. Apocalypse Ninja gave 35 Rand. Thank you for that. Morning, Chris and car guards. Will the flights that RCS arranged be slower? No, there are no less people. The flights aren't being arranged by the people that were deported. They weren't the ones booking your flights. The people in Kenya are the ones booking your flights, to my knowledge. And they're the ones that have no understanding of geography in South Africa. So that shouldn't have any impact. Crazy question. Would the U.S. ever step in if crap hit the fan, like boots on the ground? It's a highly unlikely situation. Jasmine, people ask all the time. Klaus Ulrich said Burkina Faso. You're talking about the official. Yes, that's what was spread on the internet. They showed his passport and said that's where he was from. Correct. But I have not put up my picture. And $20 from Busvark. Wow. Thank you for that, man. Thank you. That must really be pissing off the troll now. Are the donations coming? Yes, Mr. Troll, they are. Look at these donations piling in. I bet that really hurts your feelings, man. $20. Thank you for that. So when all the refugees are here, you'll have to discuss the news from the United States. I already discussed the news from the United States, Holden. On my news program every single day. I wrap up with the U.S. That's why it's so comical to see Rebecca Davies from the Daily Maverick, comment, Colonel Chris Wyatt, retired officer, is inexplicably tied into the refugee program. I'm not tied to the refugee program. That's one of the things I talk about. I also talk about the Schlanga Commission. I talk about the raided dairy farm scandal, about the Forum for Democrats being cheated out of their seat in Zeros, about Oma Katerina Esau, the last surviving first language speaker of the San language Nu, whom I went to Uppington to interview. I talk about the Sightlanders. I talk about Cape Independence. I talk about the Ngunyoma Trust. I talk about the Drakensberg. I talk about zip lining. I talk about everything on the sun. And I also talk about Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, DRC, Madagascar, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Tunisia, Myanmar, Südtirol, Italy, Estonia, Finland. Take your pick. I cover the whole freaking world. So hear her say I'm inexplicably. It's like these idiots think this is all I do in this program, because that's all they tune in to watch. I'm not calling Rebecca Davis an idiot. I'm talking about the other people. So Rebecca Davis, though, at least she got my title correct for a change. I really appreciate that. That was a nice change of pace. DA's track record is appalling. It is appalling. Agriculture, education. Yep. What I mean is, what is going to happen now with refugees that I have to go to the interview, wherever the raid happened? They will not go to the embassy. People stop assuming that. They will not go to the embassy. If they do, I'd be shocked. First off, if you've been to the embassy in Pretoria, in Hatfield, have you been there? You're a sitting target. I mean, it's all open. Anybody could drive by and attack you on the street. It's a very dangerous place to do this. From that standpoint, we've also had, the effort to steal all the cell phones right down the street on Skuman, which is Francis Bard now, but Skuman, down there by the McDonald's, a kilometer from the frickin' embassy in Hatfield. Remember that? On the way out to the motorway? Yeah, so it's not the place to do it. It's inappropriate to do it there anyway. The role of the embassy is not this. That's not why the embassy's there. So they're not doing this. The people are doing this coming over from the U.S., and they're there on temporary duty, acknowledged and disclosed to the government of South Africa. That's why they knew where the place was. So the question is, will they do it back at their location? I don't see how they could possibly do it there. News 24, which should be sued as far as I'm concerned, if the U.S. government wants to take them to court for their abysmal action, and they're going to claim they have the right to do that, but they don't have the right to do it. They put people's lives in jeopardy because they're irresponsible. That's not a responsible publication, News 24. They really are not a responsible publication. Then they attacked Colin Creel and called him a racist, but they have the same with the ANC, but there's no information. There's nothing to prove he's a racist. It's sad beyond belief, but this is who these people are. And that's why they send their trolls after me, because I tell the truth. Hey, Falcon Unhinged. Agent Salute. What's the Agent Salute? AfriForum YouTube channel. Okay. All right. So, but let me see what they talk about. Let's see if they stole my content. It doesn't come up. So I have to go looking for it. So I haven't done them a long time. Hang on. Sorry about that. AfriForum. Let me get there. AfriForum. Okay. 10 ways the ANC fueled the diplomatic crisis. Let's see. Well, they have a nice editors and great film production people. I don't have that. It's just me. Imagine if I had all that stuff. That would be incredible. So I'm just looking at a bunch of stuff breaking here. Let's see. They finally get into it about 20 seconds in. No, 10 ways the ANC fueled the diplomatic crisis with the U.S. Probably got some music playing. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I'm looking to see. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's Jacques Rudder.
The crisis has developed between the United States government and the South African government. This is clear from the fact that the U.S. boycotted the G20 summit in Johannesburg.
Okay, well, do they list the ways? Let me see. So I'm not like number one, number two. Six, okay. No. Okay. Well, it's very well, nice production, well done. And Jacques Berdrick, interesting. Jacques is the security guy, so it's interesting to see him doing this. Anyway, that is interesting. So, what was that here? Anyway, I missed a few chat here, I'm sure, on their F4. Thank you very much for that, Dirk. That is helpful. Top of the evening, everybody, says Greg Williams. Are you talking about, well, that was one of the people that was being discussed. Support this channel because you're getting so much value of late. We were always getting this value, Maze. I've been giving this value for 6 years. Come February, it'll be 6 years since I started doing this. So I can't believe it's been 6 years since I left the Army, but in 2020, to 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2026, that February will be 6 years. Yep, 6 years that I've been doing this. Yeah, so anyway. Also, people said I need to do this. All these people coming out yesterday to do U.S. news. Well, I also have a U.S. channel. That's America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt. Yep, that's my original channel. One buys a suitcase and people always ask, where are you going? Tell them Mauritius. You're going to Mauritius. Ooh, look at that. Nikki Hayton gave a 35 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. My wife in the USA, she went out at night, saw a possum, not knowing what it was, ran inside yelling, there's a Morzo. A big rat. No, a possum is not a rat. Well, Ben, I haven't given any help yet, so don't thank me yet. I'll try. Amazing Yacht Destinations gave 20 Thai baht. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Clouds are gathering. Okay, I'm doing the pep soccer thing. Okay. What is that woman's handle? Sunnyside Crawler or Prowler? Sunnyside. I call her Detective too. Doesn't have a good name anymore. Dangerous and red. Yeah. Yep. I'm not getting into that. Thank you for assisting us with the NCDA government and what you're doing. You're very welcome for that, Shabby Tiger. A lot of new names here tonight. Thanks for being here. We did have a troll earlier. Rugby, says Jacques Vermillion. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. After this live, good for you. Okay. Maze and Utopia are talking. Okay. What do you want to tell about Serbia? What about Serbia? I'm not a big fan of Serbia or the Serbs. Nick Muller, how's it going, man? Hey, Chris Shawan, how you doing? Chris Shawan, I'm looking into something for you, but I haven't made much progress. Okay. You only talk about what's this? You only talk about only the refugee program when asked questions and breaking news. You went so far as to say you have a designated program for refugees. I have a designated program for refugees? Yeah, I have a Sunday broadcast. Is that what you're talking about? That's not a program, I guess. I guess it's a program, the Cafe Clutch. Yeah, and I updated the image for that too recently. So, yeah, no, I have a Sunday. Yeah, that's correct. That's where that's supposed to be. In fact, it's funny that Rebecca Davis says I'm inexplicably tied. I mean, I lost a lot of my regular viewers early show when people just asked incessant questions, and I indulged it, and people got tired of it. I'm like, stop asking questions about the refugee program, folks. Watch, and that's why we created the Cafe Clutch. But this is different. That's why I also did the Night Owls. The Night Owls is I used to do Night Owls in the afternoon. I used to do my broadcast, and then I had a number of people, about 50 to 100 people that like to come in for a late night broadcast, and I would do it at 9 o'clock South Africa time or thereabouts, and I did it 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day, which, because I'd already done my first broadcast. But then I had to adjust that when the refugee thing started, and eventually I started doing Night Owls when it's actually night for me, which is 11 o'clock at night. Although right now, because of daylight savings time, I'm doing it at 10 o'clock, which is even better. 11 o'clock means I'm up till 2 or 3, no matter what. But because the refugees late and all the action's taking place, I'm actually up longer now. But the point is, I do it based at 5 o'clock South Africa time. So right now it's 7 hours, so it's 10 a.m. here, 10 p.m. here. This thermos really keeps things cold. I like that. Rulinda, thank you for the 14 Rand super chat. Very kind of you. Just wondering if Bianca applied this program, would they be approved? I doubt it. Her social media would be reviewed. It'd be too late to apply for the refugee program now. Nope. Never too late, Jasmine. Nope. Go do it. Yeah, go fill the intake questionnaire. Read the instructions carefully. Make sure you understand instructions. Start it. Do it on a laptop or PT. Don't try to do it on your phone. It's very hard to do. People make mistakes. They screw it up on their phone. Don't do it on your phone. And then save it frequently. And then get it in. Okay. Since I found your stream in July, I've finally caught up on world news in years. There are lots of reasons why I stopped listening to news. So thank you for all the news you bring. You're welcome, Ronell. Appreciate that. Oh, you thought I was getting kissed? I got close to the screen. Am I the only one getting so many pop-up ads? Oh, that's cool. Maybe I'm making money. You missed the spot while shaving. I can see the close-ups. I didn't miss any spot. I'm not shaving. You talking about down here? This is the only place I shave. There's a hair. None of this is shaved. I had it trimmed. If there's a spot missing here, I have to go back and see my barber. Great Skin. What products do you use? I use no skin products. The irony is I've got rosacea now, consequence of in no small part because of the mask wearing during the COVID scam. And the irony is I had to take antibiotics, but I don't like taking them. So I stopped taking the antibiotics and the anti-inflammatories for my hip and the stuff for my asthma. I stopped taking all that stuff 2 weeks ago. And normally my skin gets kind of messed up when I stop. Within 48, 72 hours, I start getting breakouts on my face. But ironically, there's nothing coming. Although my skin is a little rougher. I mean, it looks fine, but this is not as smooth as it can be right here. Can feel it. So yeah, no, I don't use any skincare products. None at all. Nope. And I don't use beard oil. And this is my natural hair. That's not a rug. That's not a wig. That's me. There you go. People ask. No, that won't happen, Cully. That won't happen. Okay, take care, Borif. Do you have a good day at work? Grew up in Namaqualand. We talk straight and not in the soft-escape dialect preferred, but easy offended and professional hand-wringers. Well, Hydras Canada, I also talk straight, and some people don't like that. Their feelings get hurt very easily. The Wyatt Army Media Team. Justin General, sir, you have helped us all a lot. You're very welcome for that. It's my pleasure. I see it's on like Donkey Kong in Syria. Oh yeah, Mad Max. We put the hurt on some people in Syria. Yep. We have possums, bobcats, coyotes, skunks, and many more snakes. Yeah. No. Well, we've got all that except for the coyotes here. We don't have coyotes, but we've got bobcats. I don't know if we have, but I know we have in Ohio. We have possum. We have raccoon. We have deer. We have Democrats. We have all kinds of wildlife. You can use Fonz's laptop for your broadcast. He's in Colorado, man. Beyond how that Colonel brought us January 6th live on the ground, the trucker protests, travel logs, beekeeping, parades, in-depth American politics. Thank you very much for that. You're right. See, that's the thing. It's when they're like, he's inexplicably tricked. I talk to everybody. I introduced Neil DeBeer to tens of thousands of people. Fatima Abdul. I've interviewed Steve Hofmeyer for many people. I've done from Yellowstone, from Grand Teton, from all over the world. From Europe, the Rugby World Cup in France, the Rugby World Cup for the women in England, the Rugby League World Cup in England. I've done all this stuff. It's to hear people say that it's all about refugees. It's sad. They're not honest. Don't be an irritation about what about U.S. refugees that have interviews in January. What's going to happen to that? What do you mean? How's that an irritation? They'll have their interviews. I don't understand your question. Bake a cake for a 50th wedding anniversary. Wow, that sounds good. All right, Jacques Vermeulen, hope I'll see you for the rugby, and hopefully this will be working. Let me do a check and see if my download is improved, then I'll know that they fixed it. But last time it downloaded 2.4 megabytes per second and 33 uploads. So let's test again. I don't have a lot of hope that it's fixed, and it doesn't look good. So I'm testing it. There it goes. Now 1 megabyte per second. It's screwed. Yeah, they better fix this crap by the morning because I won't be able to watch the game if it's that slow. So anyway, all right. Whoops, there's something from Kali here. Oh, he sent me that link for that video. Kali sent me that video. Okay, cool. I'm just looking to see real quick in my WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp on my desktop, which I prefer to use. One of your videos 5 years ago with Aaron's Fun Sale, the only thing changed is both your hair color and styles. Thank you for that, Kathy. Bonds was bragging he got a new camera, no more Vaseline video. 1 hour extra sleep is a lot. It can be utopia. I just haven't been getting it late because all the stuff going on. What's the best way to protect yourself against the raccoons? Seen some funnies with the raccoons hiding dustbins. Just leave them alone. Unfortunately, some raccoons have rabies, but just leave raccoons alone. They are very clever, smart animals. They can open doors. They can open bins. They're very clever. Just make sure bins are secured and stay away from them. They'll stay away from you. Raccoons they're clever. They're funny, but just stay away from them. Okay. Last question. When do you think the flight stopped and will continue? I think the flight stopped on the 17th. Although I think there might have been a flight yesterday, but I can't confirm that. I think the flight stopped on the 17th, and they'll resume on the 5th or 6th. Yep. Okay. I think Serbia will be a major topic, seeing the president of the free world push the prime minister of Montenegro in 2018. Possibly hold. How will we get the word out if the apartheid law is passed? It's not going to pass. Okay. First off, it's just an idea. It's not even a bill. Okay. It's not going anywhere. I don't see that happening. Well, it'll be up to people abroad to get it out for you. Jasmine says, thank you for your time and cover yourself. You're very welcome. No corn syrups. Who's got corn syrup? I'll be honest, between work and the lives, I'm battling keep up, Curl. You're a dedicated man to keep to all your promises and on time always. Well, Mad Max, I try to stay on time, but I'm not always on time. I'm close to it though. But I mean, I'm a one-man operation. I come up with a concept for videos, and then I do the breaking videos. In fact, I haven't been able to do many prescient predictive videos lately because I can give predictive things in my analysis, but a lot of times I do videos in advance of things happening, but I haven't been able to do that. There's just so much happening. Plus, I have other responsibilities. Tonight, I was at the Veterans organization this afternoon waiting for a guy who got fired who was supposed to come in, and he never showed. So I was there for 40 minutes. I left there. I went back this evening for 2 hours to help set up for breakfast with Santa. And at 5:30 in the morning, I'll be heading to the Veterans Organization again. And I'll be there till 8 o'clock when I have to come back. And hopefully my internet's working so I can do the Stormers game. Yeah, it really pisses me off when the internet's not working. So understandably so. Dr. Zofia Clemens. Okay, well, the asthma is a consequence of the damage to my lungs because of burning oil wells in Kuwait after the Gulf War. Just plain good genes, Colonel. Bottom line, I'm a decade younger than you, and my eyes look like plowed lands. Well, it's not just good genes, Xavier. I mean, I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. I barely drink any alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't carouse around. I stayed fit my entire adult life until my hip gave me a problem recently, and now I can't exercise. But I mean, I was walking an hour and a half in the morning and an hour in the evening for the first couple of years after I retired every day. Yep. So I mean, I've always stayed fit. 37 subscribers and 9 videos. That tells you everything you know there. Yep. But the thing is that she does that, and then they make stories on it. Based on that, they ran a story in the news. They ran a story in the news based on a tweet from presumably an American who complained about the 52 refugees who came over and they're all on welfare, and 3 work in Amazon warehouses. I'm like, seriously? That's newsworthy? That's not newsworthy. And then I spoke to the lady briefly, and we actually had a conversation on Zoom, but I couldn't see her face because she said her camera didn't work. And then she ran a story up. I spoke to her. Jade wrote it. And she had told me when I wrote to her that she needed to see my identification to prove my bona fides. I'm like, seriously? You guys, not her, but your journalists write a story about a tweet. Did you verify the bona fides of the tweet? You ran as if it was factual. And now I'm an independent journalist. I'm a known person. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm known. People know who I am. And I've offered to do a Zoom session with you. That's when she did it. But I wrote to her online. She's like, I have to prove who you are. I'm like, seriously? Anyway. Kills me. Okay. Hey, Louise Duplessis, what's up? Yeah, you laughing about the Democrats coming, huh? Yeah, it's a proposed one party. That's good. Colonel hates them, but raccoons very low on the list of dangerous disease. I don't hate raccoons. Where do you get that? I have no problem with raccoons. Research reports that they're evolving into more cute and docile because humans get fed. I don't have a problem with raccoons. They're just smart little buggers. Yes, I think there will be another government shutdown there. Who asked for that? That's Don's Designs. Yeah, Don's Designs. I absolutely think there'll be another one. Nothing has been resolved. We haven't resolved this. I think there'll be another government shutdown. Absolutely. The government has authorization until 30 January. 31 January, I expect the government to be shut down again. And as usual, I have preparations for it. I've squirreled away some of my resources to ensure that I can pay my mortgage if I don't get paid. Yeah. Although I got paid last time, I'm surprised. They make fashionable hats. Yeah. Going to have to keep my wife on a leash or she'll try to adopt a raccoon. Okay, you better be careful what you're saying, man. If a Democrat were to come at the colonel, and we certainly have a bunny ready to tell him what to do. Off topic, who has been getting strange notifications that an AirPod is following you? I haven't seen that. That's interesting, Nadine. Thanks for your honesty from Mauritius. From Martinus. Sorry, I thought that said Mauritius. Martinus and Eudora. Okay, Martinus. I thought that said Mauritius. I'm like, watch me Mauritius? That's cool. I'm planning on going to Mauritius, folks. Yeah, I'm planning on going to Mauritius. Anybody want to go to Mauritius with me? EFF, MK, and some other small parties have expressed their support for the bill. I think it's of support to pass the bill. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. ANC will put a stop to that. You're so vain. I bet you made a stream just for me. I did, Garrett. It's just for you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Carly Simon, man. She is the most attractive woman with the most odd face I've ever seen. I came late. I'll have to watch from the start. A little lost. Okay, that's all right, Angelique. Hey, I don't know if I mentioned it. I thought I did that, but I watched The Family Feud. I think I mentioned the Veterans Club. I watched The Family Feud with Sydney Sweeney. Oh, yeah, man. Ooh, she is all that in a bag of chips. All that in a bag of chips. And she's smart. Oh, my goodness. She gave the right answers, and her team won the bonus. I mean, the first guy was incredible. He got 172 points, and her first answer got him over to 205. It was unbelievable. She got 33 on the first one. She gave the number one answer for the first question answer. They didn't even answer the other 4. So, yeah, that was incredible. Sydney Sweeney, she was not only smoking hot, she was really smart, too. And she has a really lovely voice. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Sydney Sweeney's jeans, man. I'm a huge fan. Yep. Anyway. Where you have conversation with Steve due to both. Well, we did. Penny Schwartz. We just recently did another. It's the first time in 6 years. I had Steve on August of 2020, and just had him on a couple weeks ago. We got on. We talked about music, and then we got around to talking about politics. The expropriation bill also didn't have support to pass. Some with NHI bill and hopeful. Okay, well, I got again love hate. I'm not going to get cited. But is the South African government, they do stupid? Yeah, they do. Borball, they do lots of stupid things. You're right about that. He complained he got fired, and then he didn't show up for a meeting with the colonel. Does he know how many of us would have loved to have a conversation? Yeah, well, exactly. But this is how people behave, and this is how people in the Veterans Organization behave. These are employees and also members. So disrespectful. I had a guy who came in, was very rude and disrespectful at the meeting. I mean, he was an NCO, and I'm a retired colonel. And he was just, so that's just a non-starter. Marines would never do that. They would never be disrespectful, even if they don't like you. Disrespectful meeting. And then he's like, we have these gaming machines that are broken. They're old. And it's difficult to find a person who can repair them because they're like really, really old. I'm guessing 30 years old. I don't know how old they are. But we have several of them. They're all broken. Over time, they broke. We reached out to find a person that knew how to repair it because it's mechanical. It's not digital. And we found someone. They said, well, in order to repair it, I have to cannibalize your old machine. So you have to give me the 2 machines. I can fix that machine, but I'll keep the other 2 machines, and I want to charge you, like, I think it was $4,000. So you're going to charge $4,000 using our parts to fix our machine. And then we have no backup machines. We just have the one, and when it breaks, what do you do then? So we said, no, we don't have money for that. But this guy came to the meeting, and he said, I want the bylaws. Okay, well, that's fair. You're a member. You're entitled to the bylaws organization. But the bylaws don't really say much of anything. I've just read them recently. Again, they're right here in a stack. But wants it. So he said, want the bylaws. And he said, why aren't those machines out here? People buy those tickets. Why aren't the machines out here? I said, well, because they're broken. Yeah, but you got all those ones back there. Why are you sitting there? Why are you guys not doing anything? I'm like, really? You're being this rude? Anyway, I didn't say that. But he said, well, I know somebody that can fix them. I said, okay, great. Can you put us in touch? Yes, I'll give you the name. She can repair it. I said, great. That was 8 days ago. 8 days ago. That's 8 days we could have made contact and potentially got the machine fixed. So he hasn't given us the information. He has sent me 2 text messages. One, when our heating system failed because we got 3 HVAC units on top of the building. And 2 weeks ago, one of them in the dining room was broken. We had someone come out and pay $1,800, $1,800 to repair that one. And he looked at the other one and said, it's fine. And then now 2 weeks later, the one in the bar area has broken a few days ago. And we went and got a quote, and they got to strip all the parts out and replace it. So we got a quote for $2,500. So we're going to spend almost over $4,000 repairing these heating systems. But the other night, he came in and he's like, it's cold in here. Why aren't we shutting down the place? You do realize that we have to generate a couple $1,000s per day just to pay our bills. So you want us to close because you're uncomfortable. Put a jacket on. So he would have had us close. So he had sent me a text about that. Let's close the place down. Why aren't you closing it? Then he sent me a text about where the bylaws at. But I'm waiting for the text with the phone number of the person who can fix the equipment. See, this is the kind of crap I deal with. It's unbelievable. And you're right. This guy, I had a broadcast where 4,000 people would have shown up to hear the news on a Friday because we do well in the news on Friday. I would have generated some coin from ads from that. And so I lost money and also lost time. And I've lost patience with people like this. The guy doesn't deserve my time. He didn't show up for work half a dozen times, and he wants to know why he got fired. I saw 2 raccoons once that were as big as monkeys. Really? Where was that at? Thought you had said you didn't like raccoons. No, I don't have a problem with raccoons. They're just smart little buggers. Comments not being seen or being ignored? No. We saw your comments. You said something about children of Eve. I didn't know what the hell that was supposed to be. What did I deserve? What are you talking about? What disrespectful treatment? Because we're not reading your comments? What's your problem? Me. I've just read your comment. I mean, you wrote children of Eve. I don't know who the children of Eve. What is that? I don't know what that is. How am I supposed to address that? I can't even pronounce your name. Ianu. What is that? Love good Mauritius. Yeah, I think it'll be great. What time is Stormers game? 8:30 my time, which would be 7 hours. So that's 3:30 South African time. No, I've seen comments. Rohan, back to Rohan. Rohan earlier, that person wrote, welcome to Children of Eve. I don't know what that means. Someone was on my porch and I ripped the door open and there were 6 raccoons under my legs. I bet Janet Reno's a close second. Okay. On Sydney Sweeney, have you seen her handling the new? No, haven't seen that. Okay, first let me deal with that. I have to make a video on that Utopia, but without the internet, it's too hard to do. So Utopi is saying that the Church World Service celebrates reintroduction of the Grace Act. Well, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That is an effort by a member of Congress, a demon rat, to try to impose limits on the executive branch. That is a violation of the separation of powers, the co-equal branches of government. This is an effort, like the War Powers Act, to limit the reach of the executive branch. It's unwarranted, it's unconstitutional, and it's frankly unnecessary because the cap is ignored anyway. It doesn't matter what the goal or cap is set every year. But they want to force the executive branch to take 125,000 foreigners in our country, whether they want to or not. Now, the problem I have with this is that it's just bullshit. First off, how do you arrive at the 125,000 figure? Are there 125,000 people around the world every year guaranteed that need refugee status? No, there are 25 million people who need refugee status right now. So should we take in 25 million? No. Why do we have to fund 125,000 people coming to our country every year? We didn't ask for that. We have no say in that. This is bullshit by a bullshit leftist Democrat trying to impose it. So Church World Service can praise it all they want because they're evil bastards who don't answer me these questions. And quite frankly, I think their funding ought to be pulled at some point. That's going to piss the South Africans off. But after this is done with South Africans, they shouldn't be funded because they don't have the courtesy to respond to the press. They didn't respond to me. They didn't respond to the Daily Maverick. They didn't respond to News 24. They don't respond to the press. And in fact, we got insight from Church World Service today because Josh Messervy was actually a person who worked for them. So no. That's the Grace Act is bullshit. They don't even latch onto that. Someone sent to me earlier and said, the cap is going to be 125,000. No, they have to get that through committee. It has to get on the floor. It has to be voted on. And the Republicans control the House and Senate. And even if they don't control the House and Senate, Trump will veto it. And the Democrats will not get the 2/3 majority in the House and Senate. They need to override his veto. So it's dead on arrival. It's just posturing by a demon rat looking to get reelected. Celebrities get a bit of coaching on these shows, so it's not to embarrass anyone. Yes, they do, but there was some dumb stuff done by some of the celebrities, and she wasn't one of them. I've also heard her interviewed. She's a smart person. She's hot and she's smart. Those high heels she was wearing, pretty cool too. Those big raccoons, Bellingham. Okay, she's full package, isn't she? Yeah, exactly. You're right, Dirk. Hey, Anita Chrobla, what's up? No, Utopia. I'm happy to clarify. I need to make a video on it too. 2 comments after I greeted all the children of who is everyone? It's a way of greeting. One of the ignored comments was about the refugee program. Government. I didn't see them. I mean, look, I'm sitting here on a mobile phone at 11:47 at night after I've been working 18 to 22 hours a day for the past 9 days straight, doing volunteer work, doing broadcasts, doing consulting, writing, being interviewed. I was interviewed today too. Did I mention that? I did an interview earlier this morning. Yep. And then I did an interview. So I was interviewed on another network live, and then I did an interview right after that. So I don't see all the messages. They appear on a tiny screen about 2 centimeters high. It's difficult for me to catch them. And even what's on the screen, the TV, or not, the computer, it's hard for me to see. So don't take offense to it. People don't know who you are, and we don't recognize you seeing you here. So ask your question. I'll try to answer it. But besides, I mean, they're all obsessed with raccoons right now. There's also a mid-year review of the cap and represented executive. Exactly. Okay, never mind raccoons. It's the squirrels. I love squirrels. Squirrels are tree rats, man. I love tree rats. Tree rats are amazing. I love the red squirrels in England. We have gray squirrels here, and they were introduced to England. They've had devastating impact on the red squirrel population. The red squirrels are pretty cool. But to me, a squirrel is a tree rat. Oh, now you understand the mirror image. We were talking about that like an hour ago. Yes, the red squirrels are amazing. I like their big tufts on their ears. Ghost Storm is right. The video quality is so good, not many realize you're on a mobile. Exactly, Dirk. This is my Samsung. Oh, someone asked me, Samsung S21 Ultra. I've had it for 5 years. It costs $1,800. I got the Ultra because it has the director's mode where I can put myself on the screen with the facing camera, and then the other camera, the powerful one, I can interview people. It's pretty cool. Quiz is bored. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. Why are you bored? Raccoons are trash pandas. What's that all about, Quiz? Why do people say that? I'm bored. I'm leaving. Okay. All right. Whatever. Yeah, DJ. He didn't say about DJ War. That's huge. South Africans loved him. He was executed. He was assassinated. I'm all about the gangs taking over those buildings. Yeah, that's going to take a military operation to get those bastards out of there. That's all that can happen. And then it's going to take full-time security to keep it under control so it doesn't happen again. Full package, yep. Okay. Well, he was very outspoken, Cyril ANC critic. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, he's not gonna tell people about that. We only have 297 likes. We got some nice super chat money, which really offended the troll who came on earlier. No, Quids is not a troll. Quids 45 might be. Yeah. I'm not bored, so I'm staying. Yeah. Oh, then they must go if they're bored. Yeah, exactly, Kathy. That's my take on it. Let me ask you guys if you can hear this. I don't think you can because it cancels things out. The phone.
Yeah, it's the 16th of December. The sun is high, the waves are blue. While everybody's chilling and believing.
Can you hear that?
Someone's got
the music.
else to do. Down in Durban, they're soaking up the spray. It's a holiday, baby, reconciliation day. Nobody's at the office, nobody's on the clock, except for the agents heading down the block. They're swarming through the hallways, looking for a file, losing all the rhythm, losing all the style. And I wasn't made of, just the air turns cold. A story's being written that's already getting old. Demanding every paper, searching for a name. Intimidation is the spirit of the game. They said, where are the Americans? We need them in a row. But then they changed the script for the midday show. It was the rain on one man, verse in the sky. A holiday house, so convenient little lie. They said, Hakuna Matata, don't you be afraid. We only want the canyons, it was quite the masquerade.
So you like how I put that? They said Hakuna Matata. We only want the Kenyans. That's why we're doing the raid. No, I don't fish. I haven't fished since I was a kid. I'm fishing. I find boring. You're not running the risk of a strike from YouTube. No, that's my music. No, that's my music, man. No. I just wonder if you guys can hear it because I'm on my mobile. I've got the microphone here, and that's with the. So I'm transmitting on a microphone through Bluetooth into my phone. My phone is connected to a mobile network on a tower somewhere nearby, while the internet is in and out from my cable provider. And I'm transmitting this to a YouTube server and transmitting it all over the world. We have people in America right now, people in South Africa, people in Europe watching this program. I haven't seen anybody in Australia yet. No, I don't go fishing. Doesn't do much. We have had black squirrels. Yeah, I've seen it. Black squirrels are kind of strange. Yep. You're welcome, Kara Farmak. No, Quids is bored. That's fine. But I mean, why do you tell people you're bored, man? That's just rude. Oh, I've seen black squirrels.
The public's looking sideways, the logic doesn't flow. Working on a Friday, on a holiday, no. Was the KFC closed? Was there nothing left to eat? Is that why the uniforms are out on the street?
Was the KFC closed? Is there nothing left to eat? Is that why the uniforms were out on the street on Reconciliation Day? The raid on Woodmead. Music chart week and vote for the songs of the year. Yeah, I should do that. Starlink, Chris, is it not cheaper? No, it's also not reliable. I mean, I'd have to change a whole bunch of stuff just to be hooked up to Starlink. Coming to South Africa, U.S. Senate confirms anti-ANC activist Leo Brent Bozell as incoming ambassador. When did Brent Bozell become an anti-ANC activist? I'm familiar with that. He spent his life doing media research in America. I never heard him once talk about South Africa before he got nominated for this. Home Affairs on, you just need to be first find the paperwork they lost in 1998. So, U.S. has formally confirmed Brent Bozell as the United States ambassador to South Africa. The move transitions his controversial priority list from the campaign of a nominee to the official mandate of a confirmed envoy. The 53-43 party line vote on Thursday, December 18th, comes at what diplomats describe as the most dangerous crossroads in bilateral relations since 1994. While Bozell now holds the title of ambassador designate, he will enter the mission to South Africa, currently engulfed in diplomatic firestorm following the raid at a U.S. refugee facility. Once again, these quotes. In Johannesburg, and the deportation of Kenyan staff from the center, incidents Washington's labels unacceptable harassment. In October, then that's a lie too. They didn't say this instance. They said the doxing. At the time, Bozell, following confirmation arrived in Pretoria, but there's nothing here that says they're attributing Jonas Maromo is attributing things from the U.S. government to Brent Bozell. See, this is just propaganda. They're already trying to set him up as a anti South Africa. He's not anti-ANC activist. Where are they getting from? They give one statement they can attribute to him. What could give a hypothetical breakdown? I don't think anybody cares about Serbia and Bosnia at this stage, Holden. I don't think anyone really cares. If they were more rare, originally from Midwest, people would have spread them to Vancouver, moving south. What's moving south? Yeah, they already started trashing his reputation. See, this is again. I got to make a video on that too. And no evidence of it, and they're trashing his reputation. So SABC, I didn't see that. Is that on YouTube, Louise, or Louis? Louis, did you see that on YouTube or on broadcast? Yeah, they're already laying the groundwork to blame Bozell for what will be most definitely a very spicy relationship. I'm going to talk about that. Kate McKenzie thinks he can, for people to celebrate Reconciliation Day. He obviously doesn't want us to celebrate. No, he's not making friends. Just quickly popped on to say thank you for all you do for South Africans, Louis. Okay, got to go. Joys of motherhood, but oh, it is Louisa. Louisa, sorry, it's tiny. Louisa Huttinger. Thank you. All right, well, it's great being a mom. It's one of the most important jobs ever. I see Greg Biffle passed away in an airplane accident. Yes, the NASCAR guy. His whole family. Interview on YouTube. Thank you very much for that, Louise. I'll have to, Louis, I'm looking at Louis, not Louise. I'll look that up. I need it for a video about it. They're already trashing him with no proof. Yeah, NASCAR champion. No need to explain anything to me. Thanks. Autocorrect screws my messages. Yeah. I'm not bothered. It just takes longer messages get typed. Okay. Thank you, Quids. I think it will end up being Europe's version of the Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't know about that, Holden. It didn't happen last time that way. And Madeline is off to work. Have a good, safe day at work. So, yep. Anyway, it's working out pretty well. We were able to do the live stream on the mobile. So, excuse me. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Good to see. I will have rugby, assuming I have internet, but right now it's not working so well. So, anyway, I'll have, excuse me, gosh bless. I'll have rugby with the Stormers hosting the Lions, and then the Sharks hosting the Bulls later in the day. Yeah, it does have a mirror effect there, because it's without the mirror effect. The mirror effect will, so you see exactly what I see, but it's just you're actually likely looking at the mirror. So, yes, it's because I'm on a mobile, Julie. So, yeah, I'm not on my computer. Also, you'll notice that the view is very different. Also, I can move it around. That I can't do that with my camera on my PC. It's mounted on top of my screen. So there you go, just move it around. So anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. I'm on my mobile because the internet is acting wonky. We had a massive windstorm here. It knocked out power all over the region. And in addition to power, it screwed up the internet. Let me see. I'm going to test this again to see if it's still not getting there. Now it's telling me about 18 megabytes per second download. And the upload is the key thing, though. Oh, you're very welcome. I try to overcome it. I mean, so what are we on now? Yeah, it's 18 megabytes download and 33 megabytes upload. That's something wrong. The internet's still screwed up. I hope they fix it by morning. But, I mean, what a pain in the butt. What a pain in the butt. Thanks for the stream. I better go hit the gate. Okay, 12 a.m. here. Well, we're on the same time there, Rohan. We're on the same time. It's 12 a.m. here as well. You can change the effectiveness settings. No, I can't. No, you can't, Julie. No, I'm in YouTube. You can do that on your phone. You can't do that in YouTube. No, you can change it on your phone, but you can't do it on YouTube. They changed all the settings. There's no way to do it. You know a way? Show me. I know how to do it for TikTok, but I don't. What's with audio? What's with audio? It was bad now and treat just passing walls to keep them away from children. The tide is turning. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about that. Anyway. You guys are talking about stuff I don't even know what you're talking about now. Just higher property, then they do have sovereignty like the embassy. Yes and no, Lawrence. It's not as simple as that. The issue isn't the property. The issue is the activity they were doing was a diplomatic mission. Yep. Also, the South African government, they were known to them. What is this? Chris Wyatt Africa YouTube from USA. Okay, help me out with that. I don't know what Geboy is. What is Canada's issue going to deal with something from USA. Gideon. Okay, not expecting miracles, to be honest, but those that I know are really concerned about behind the scenes goings on at the Bulls. Yeah, no, the Bulls. It's a problem. Thank you for everything you do, Colonel. It's a selfless job, and we appreciate it. It's refreshing to have someone report on international matters, pragmatic and informed, without propaganda. Enjoy your sleeps. Thanks for making this morning possible. You're very welcome, Xavier. My pleasure. So, has the program been paused as we haven't had feedback and completed everything, including vacation? What vacation? Program is not paused. There's no change. It's status quo. Just ask how bad the transmit. Oh, that's what I didn't understand. Okay. That's what's confusing me. That's not, I guess I didn't know that verb at all. Thank you, guys. What's happening? Yeah, okay. All right, got you. I don't know. Heading a video on YouTube, Leo was all confirmed as next year's ambassador. Thank you for that. Who has close to 125,000 subscribers? I don't. I wish I did. I don't have close to 125,000 subscribers. That'd be nice. Let me see what I currently have. Oh, that's not. That's 20. Where's my channel at? Is it here? Nope, not there. Not there. Oh, that is that. Hang on. That's when I had no internet. Now it's loading. I think about 117,900. I think it is 118,821. Excuse me. Yep. So anyway, let's see. The latest video there was the Kali Creole video. That one's up to 42,000. So yeah, it's kind of, but it got me a fair number of subscribers, so I'm grateful for that. Yep. Anyway. All right, what am I missing here? Bulls are going to make fish paste. Well, Conrad, we'll see. Thank you. I can't get to Mad Max. I'm on my mobile, so thank you for that. I'll look for it on SABC on YouTube. So let me go to YouTube. YouTube, SABC. Okay, you're going to get a close look up at my face again because I come first. See, people are putting stuff out there like, Trump is going to put a hurt on South Africa. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because I think that's there it is. Got it. So it's 17 minutes. Okay. I'll watch that. Okay. Let me see if I can download it so I can use the video portions of it. Let me see if it works. Okay. Loading, preparing. Okay. Converting. Okay. It's converting. That means I'll be able to get it. That's good news. Okay, cool. Okay. What's the raccoons, man? Meerkat. Yeah. I love Meerkat, man. Yeah, there'll be less U.S. foreign announced that the colonel confirms that no one should lose sleep over exactly. Hank, oh my goodness, Jake, thank you. Hank, what did I say? I said from the outset, the problem with the Bulls is not Jake White. As they went through that, Jake White's not the problem. Jake White was never the problem. The problem is the players. The problem is the players. That's what I said all along. I've always said that. The problem is not Jake White. And I was right. I was right. On my broadcast, it's not Jake White. He's not the problem. That guy, as a guy, poured his heart and soul into the Bulls and took them to 3 finals. The players didn't execute. I was there, Hank. Were you there the night of the championship? I was there at the championship. And at that championship, the Bulls had the ball 2 meters from a try, and they're the ones that knocked it on or got a penalty there. They would have won the game. They didn't even need a conversion to win that game. They lost that game against, was it Glasgow? Yep. And it shouldn't have been that close. They're the ones. Now, the first one against the Stormers just played better than them at DHL Greenpoint Stadium. So, look, I mean, Jake White took them to 3 finals. The players didn't execute. They didn't execute. Yeah, he had a good plan, and the players didn't execute his plan. So that's not on Jake White. Never was on Jake White. Never was. And it really torqued me off that Jake became the fall guy. So let me see if this has salad. Got it. Okay, got it. So that I can use to make a video now. Nope, Jake was never the problem. That's just nonsense. Akim was handed a poison chalice. Yes, and he was definitely handed a poison chalice. I don't doubt that. Yep, and he fell for it. Yep. I have no biltong. I'm out of biltong. And I'm out of Druvos as well. So I have nothing. Nothing for the game. Yep. If I was at Loftus, I would have biltong. I'd buy it right there next to at Loftus Park. staying at the Protea, and then I go with my press pass, and I'd be munching on my biltong during the game. After I did my obligatory trip down in front of the stadium crowd and where people recognize me, which is a lot of fun. I love going to Loftus, not because the stadium's amazing, but now that they've got the hotel next to it, I can stay right there, and I can enjoy myself, and Mexican restaurants there. I can hang out with viewers, and when I go to Loftus, I get recognized so many times. It's really heartwarming. I love it. I feel like kind of a minor celebrity when I go to Loftus. Hey, it's the Colonel, Chris. Hey, can we get selfies? Love it. But ironically, when I did that Save South Africa video, one lady took a selfie with me, and then her daughter wrote to me and said, would you please take my mother's picture out of that video? I have a business. You're hurting my business. Like, what? So I had to go back and edit it. And take that. That was hours of work to do it. So I just put another static video in there and replaced it. So, yep, and took down the video originally put up and put that one up. The stuff I do to help people is crazy. I had no obligation to do that. No pause in anything except the flights over December. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Indy Skim. There are South African food stores in the US, right? You can order biltong from there. The biltong I found in the States, Bloedkop, has not been impressive. I got biltong from some Safas who live in Virginia. Didn't like it. But no, I didn't know there were stores here in America, so I haven't looked for that. Going to work, going to sell some bicycles. Okay, good luck with that, DJ Yazaber. Okay, cool. Alrighty, guys. So I've got some videos I need to make. I'll probably make one tonight, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yep. So, yeah. If you can tune in for the rugby, I'd appreciate that. That will be in 8 hours and 24 minutes. Now, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done. We got 357 likes, and the super chat, it's dried up earlier. People super chat because the troll was here. He did me a big favor. He got me some revenue coming in because he ran his mouth. But the sound should be pretty good. Thanks. This was all on my mobile network. The mobile network is up despite the fact the internet is screwed up. And my internet is from a cable company, so I don't understand why it's screwed up. Very strange indeed. It kind of leads me to believe that our connection is not nearly as secure as it should be. All right, that's going to do it, folks. What I missed in the chat here. Rupert can lie about sleeping with unlocked doors, then he can lie to Ackerman about the real issues of Bulls. Yep. Well, it may be easy to make biltong, but it means I'd have to have time. I don't have time for anything when I take photos. Some people don't want their photos taken for different reasons. It's a pain. Yep. Have a great day, Hank. Good to see you again. Love to meet Carolyn Levitt. I think she can only, yes, I think she's an amazing person too. I haven't had the one from Texas. Thank you for that. Well, Marley Quinn gave us a super chat of 140. Thank you, Quids and Marley. Okay, and then Quids gave 14 rand. These high windy gusts where it was 69 miles per hour. The highest in the state was around 77. Yeah, no, it was probably around 60 or 70 here in Pennsylvania, and it just messed everything up. And we had a big storm. The storm was gone quickly because the rain and the wind blew it away. You're very welcome, guys. Have a whale of a day, especially if you're in Hermanus. God bless. Merry Christmas, everybody. Dan, good to see you again. Take care, everybody. See you hopefully. Cheers.